I was 14 years old the night my father calmly told me I was no longer his daughter. There was no fight, no shouting, no warning. My school bag was still on my back when he opened the front door, stepped aside, and said, "Go stay with your aunt. You've embarrassed this family enough." I didn't even understand what I had done wrong. What happened next changed my life forever. And if you stay with me till the end, you'll see how the truth finally came out in a way no one expected. Before the story continues, I want to ask you something important. Stories like this happen in real life, hidden inside families every day. If you believe people should know the truth behind such situations, please like this video, write your thoughts in the comments, and most importantly, share this video as much as possible so more people can understand how easily someone's life can be destroyed by silence and false judgment. Now, here's the full story. That afternoon at school, my cousin borrowed my phone. I didn't think twice before giving it to her. A few hours later, rumors started spreading. Messages I had never written and photos I had never taken. By evening, my parents had already decided I was guilty. They didn't ask me a single question. They didn't let me explain. My mother stood behind my father with her arms crossed and eyes cold. She said nothing as I stepped outside with nothing but my bag and a thin sweater. The door closed softly, but the sound stayed with me for years. My aunt let me sleep on her couch. She didn't ask many questions, and I didn't offer answers. I learned very quickly that silence felt safer than telling the truth. Life moved on without my parents. I worked after school, then worked 2 jobs while studying. I paid my way through community college and later earned a nursing degree. I built my life quietly and carefully, always afraid that one wrong move could take everything away again. Late at night, I sometimes wondered if my parents ever missed me. But then I remembered how easily they had let me go, and the thought slowly disappeared. 5 years later, after a long hospital shift, I saw my father's name on my phone. I stared at it until the screen went dark. He called again, and then again. Finally, I answered. His voice sounded older and weaker. He didn't apologize. He didn't ask how I was. He only said, "Your mother is very sick." I felt a tight ache in my chest. Not anger, not relief, just a deep, quiet pain. Then he said, "She needs care. We can't afford a full-time nurse." I let out a small, surprised laugh and said, "So you called me?" There was a long silence before he replied, "Your family." 2 days later, I returned to the house I once called home. It looked the same, but it felt like a stranger's place. My mother lay in bed, thinner and weaker, but her eyes still recognized me. She said softly, "You came." I replied, "I'm here as a nurse, nothing more." I took care of her the same way I would any patient, professionally and calmly. I cooked, cleaned, gave her medication, and left before nightfall. My father watched quietly. His pride finally warmed down. One afternoon, my cousin came to visit. She couldn't look me in the eye as she confessed everything. The messages, the photos, all of it. She admitted she had panicked and stayed silent while I was blamed and thrown away. When my father heard the truth, his face collapsed. My mother began to cry. Not softly, but with the kind of tears that come years too late. That evening, as I packed my bag to leave, my father stood in the doorway and said, "We were wrong. We failed you." I nodded and said, "I know." He waited, maybe for forgiveness, maybe for a hug, maybe for me to come back home. But I had already built one without them. Before leaving, I said quietly, "I hope you take care of each other the same way I learned to take care of myself." Then I walked away without looking back. Some people think justice is loud, filled with shouting and tears, but sometimes justice is silent. Sometimes justice is becoming everything they believed you would never be without them.